I'm an American and I live in Moscow, showing Russia. One of the criticisms I often get is, Joe, you live in the center of Moscow. Of course it looks nice. You're deceiving people because Russia is not nice. So in this video, I have come to the outskirts of Moscow, what is labeled one of their worst neighborhoods, to see, does Russia have ghettos? Welcome to Expat American. I am the Expat American, and I'll be doing this video with my bodyguard because I'm not crazy, Stan Fillon.
I've been in some pretty bad neighborhoods in Philadelphia. Would you stop in an American ghetto with 7,000 US in cash in your car and leave your car somewhere? Would you do that? I'm just curious because I just sold my motorcycle and the dealer gave me cash and I have cash in my car.
Rolling? What do you know about this place?
You're filming, right?
Mm-hmm. What does that word mean, Stan? This is where we should get scared. That looks like it might be a trash bag or something. Rolling? That grass is very green on that side.
If you're an American, compare this in the comments. Compare this area, what you've seen in this video, to an American ghetto. I dare you to compare. It's funny that you should call me your bodyguard, but sure, we'll play it that way. I will be the bodyguard, and we also have our fantastic cameraman who's going to be drawing attention to us while we're walking around. And I guess the first thing we might notice is that this being a metro station, there is trash laying around. Right?
That is a good point. To be fair, there's more trash than what I see in the center of Moscow.
Exactly. However, at the same time, you see those big trash bags? I was here maybe a week ago, and there was a person taking care of all the trash everywhere. So trash does pile up, but at least the government or the people working here are trying to get rid of it. But
kind of like what we saw in Kursk.
Kind of exactly like what we saw there. So now let's go ahead and just walk around and then and see what's up.
Yeah, I agree. Let's do it. There's the cameraman. Here's Stan. He is my technical advisor, not my bodyguard for this video. It was his idea to come to this neighborhood. He researched it, and he has brought us to a bus stop. So ask yourself, what is a bus stop supposed to look like in your neighborhood? Is this a scary place?
That's a baby screaming, by the way. It's not somebody getting stabbed. It's literally a little kid.
There's the metro entrance. Not the shiniest building, but to me, this looks like standard Moscow. Not the best, not the worst. It's very standardized. So Stan, why did you pick this neighborhood? What is it that you've heard about this neighborhood?
Okay, so I didn't pick this neighborhood. Every time I put out a video and I'm speaking with somebody and they're telling me their story about how they were in a particular country and there's a problem in the migrant area, ghetto area, whatever, always somebody in the comments will say, well, we have the exact same thing in Russia. So I thought, well, this would be a good comparison video. We will see exactly if it's the same.
And now I think some of you will say, well, let it get darker and leave this area, like go to some of the back streets. And so that's what we're going to do right now.
Yeah, grab a coffee and hopefully it doesn't rain because I'm more scared of the rain than anything else.
We'll see if someone mugs you for your coffee.
Yeah.
So here's our cameraman, Evgeny. You might know Evgeny. He helped me do a video a long, long time ago. And look inside the coffee shop here, guys, before we go deeper into the neighborhood. Does this look like a coffee shop in your city? Does this look like a coffee shop that would be in a scary neighborhood? You grew up here and we did not. Well, so is this what you thought it would look like?
You know, I grew up in different places, but here I'm living the most of my life. So, you know, actually nice place, nice neighborhood. I wouldn't say, you know, there are lots of immigrants here, but sometimes you see them, sometimes not. But it's not like they want to harm you or something like that.
Yeah, and we're not even saying if there are lots of migrants, it's necessarily a problem.
My first impression about this neighborhood was like, you know, usual outskirts neighborhood.
Спасибо, дядя. I went to school at NYU, so I lived in New York.
Yeah.
And, you know, the metro was scary, and you didn't want to get off in certain areas. Like, it's like, don't get off, you know?
No, but I was told specifically to come here, even by people who, when I first started it off at this very nice park, they told me you have to come here. Bad things did happen here. And all of the, like, horrible, horrible stuff that happens in Russia, especially stuff that's instigated by migrants, for example, that gets a lot of media attention. So Kotelniki, where we are, got a lot of media attention. for all the wrong reasons. Some dudes who saw the camera scream at us going, woo! That's it. That was...
I think they said Expat American, we love you.
Yeah, I guess, yeah, that's how they say. Expat American, we love you, by screaming randomly at people.
I think it was in Russian, so I didn't understand it, but I'm sure that's what they said.
I'm pretty sure the sound woo is international, Joe. But who am I? Who am I to make such decisions? I would not do something like this, what we're doing, in an American ghetto neighborhood, being white in the middle of the day. And we're doing this at 7 o'clock because I was told that I was too scared. I was told I was too scared to come here at 7 o'clock, where I've lived in the Philly area next to the ghetto. I lived there. I know what it looks like.
There are little girls walking by.
Yeah.
I mean, there are blonde chicks walking by. I mean, you know, I'm holding a camera. There's no mentally ill people like getting upset with me and wondering what I'm doing. So we're not hiding anything from you guys. And, you know, we're getting off the beaten path and it looks the same so far.
О,
My Russian cameraman and bodyguard
вам тоже.
are having a good time filming a delivery driver. And he looked nice and happy and not scary.
And have you heard his Russian? Clear one.
Oh yeah? So is he an immigrant?
Without any, tough accent.
So he's an immigrant.
He is. Actually, it depends.
And this interaction was very interesting because I just walk out of the car grabbing the second mic and he's already he's taking a picture of some delivery guy who decided to drive by, smile, and wish us have a nice day. I mean, this is in some ways disappointing.
There's like no danger here at all so far. You know, this is one level away from the end of the metro line. And I mean, and look at the park behind you. You know, in America, if this was the most dangerous neighborhood, you would not walk in there. And that's like the third baby stroller I've seen. It looks beautiful. It looks like I want to walk in there.
You want to walk on there? You want to walk on there?
Let's do
Well,
it.
first of all, there's a Porsche Cayenne Turbo here. There's a Mercedes over there. And there are people living here with all kinds of money and no money. Oh, that maneuver right here was a very rainbow maneuver.
So as a local, you never heard anything about this place special?
Especially, no.
Good
so,
or bad?
you know, Moscow, huge megapolis, right? Huge area. And here or there, from time to time, something happened. Some criminal stuff, some different areas. Before this video, we did some homework, you know, just trying to realize which neighborhood is really like called criminalistic stuff or something like that. But it was not that easy because, you know, different media, different sources had their own list. So it was like, you know, we even just a bit have a sort of a, you know, argument between us, just like, okay, where we should go to.
And what do you think? Is it scary? Is it dirty? I mean, it has dirt in it. Does this look like a park in your city?
Does this dirt look like your dirt in your city?
So I guess they got me there. It is a dirty park.
I'm sorry to disappoint you, Joe, but the start of our Moscow ghetto tour seems to be another nice area. Now, again, I have to say this because it's like a disclaimer that has to follow. We are not saying that there aren't any problems in the neighborhoods where there are migrants living here. We are simply comparing an American ghetto based on an American guy's experience and my experience from living in the States to what people have said is one of the worst neighborhoods to be in. And to continue, we know there are problems, they have to be fixed, and people who move to Russia have to, in one way or another, assimilate and be productive and good members of society. But, again, we're comparing the ability to be in a Russian-style ghetto and in an American-style ghetto.
I have lived in Florida, New York, and California. In California, I was in such a point in my life where I actually was in a shop considering buying a bulletproof vest at one point. I'm not going to get into all the details of that, but just to give you an idea of how dangerous things can be in the West. Wandering inside the apartment complexes, and just ask yourself, if you're from America, what would it look like if it was the scariest neighborhood or one of them? I think all the shops would be closed. You'd have graffiti all over the place. There would be no kids playing. You wouldn't have a playground that looks that nice.
We're trying to grab the most attention possible. The only thing we're not doing is walking up to people and, you know, interrupting their day, which I don't like to do anyway. But right now we have a cameraman, we have 2 cameras. There are people noticing, and no one's coming up to us and telling us, "Why are you filming? Get out of here!" Or "We don't like your kind around here." Like, no one's telling us that, or no one's going, "Hey, yo, buddy, yo, get over here." Or which other accent I can do?
Say it,
I don't want
say it the way a Russian would say it,
Hey,
but in English, so we understand you.
yo, buddy, get over here. I have to tell you something. I want to try your camera for a walk. Like, this is not the 1990s.
Now I see my first sign of graffiti right over here.
Yeah.
Now, to be fair, though, to Russia, this is just a construction wall. So,
Yeah, exactly. And you know what? Many construction walls do have graffiti on them, but not a lot of residential buildings. You have kids of all look like Russian faces, non-Russian faces playing on playgrounds.
the ladies don't seem to be scared. They're just out wandering about, not with eyes in the back of their head.
8 o'clock. Look. There's a ping pong table.
And a hammock for couples.
Yeah. In my neighborhood, they're real. So they're warped from weather and snow.
Yeah, it's
this
a
is actually a good way
concrete
of
slab.
doing this. Yeah,
Yeah.
so nothing's going to happen to this. You can keep, I'm not sure how the ball will bounce and if it's going to be as good as it's supposed to be, but this is actually a much better idea. This is better than what I have in my neighborhood. And my neighborhood is considered to be a good neighborhood based on Moscow standards.
Nothing special. So lots of new buildings. So lots of people moved here with kids and young families. So I believe it's not that bad.
So we've come around the corner and here is another playground. Playgrounds everywhere in Russia. We're passing by an older apartment building. There's some bars in the windows, but I do not see any graffiti.
If you see no bars on the first story windows, then you know this is a safe neighborhood. But people did say that, here's the difference between tourism and like living. Like they were saying, well, why don't you go live there if you like it so much? It's not that I like it or don't like it so much. It's that we don't have American style or European style ghettos in Moscow, at least. I would even say in Russia, even though there are some really bad neighborhoods, but in Moscow, we don't have your style ghettos anyway.
So was there a crackdown that happened where the Moscow authorities improved this area?
There was a crackdown, and I think that especially after 2022, they're starting to crack down even more. At least that's the sentiment I'm getting. I haven't looked into the statistics. I could be biased, but this is what I'm at least understanding, is there is more of a crackdown happening. And you know what? Again, I don't think this is a horrible place.
So this is not everywhere, a basketball court in Russia. That's nice. And it's very common to have a cluster of apartment buildings and a school nearby. So that's a school in the center, another playground. Now, to be fair, this little entrance right here, it looks a little junky.
A little bit, but it's painted.
Not a whole lot, but
No.
if we get closer, I think I saw some random things on the ground. And maybe it's just the cleanup guy has left his stuff here for the moment. Because I see a broom.
No, it is, I guess.
If I were to do this walk, dare I say anywhere I've been in America, at least at one point or two, I would pass by somebody where I would be a little bit on my guard. And that hasn't happened at all in this journey so far. Again, a little bit of trash there, but it's looking like this is just where they put it, right outside their door before they take it to the dumpster.
We do not have, the ghettos, as Tan mentioned, like this very particular, meaning, like ghettos.
Well, what I've heard is that in Russia, all different economic classes, they live together in the same neighborhoods. So maybe that helps there to not be ghettos in the traditional manner that a Westerner would understand.
From my understanding is usually if something were to happen in this neighborhood on the news, I think this is what they film, is this particular area.
Now I know why you were willing to bring your nicer car here.
Speaking of that, so originally I had asked Joe, I was like, Joe, which car are we bringing based on the amount of passengers we had? And he had this idea, he was like, why would we bring that car? Because he thought that this was an extremely dangerous neighborhood.
It does smell not great right for the moment.
That wasn't me.
Is this a liquor store that we found, Stan?
It looks like a beer store where you have, you can buy as much beer as you want, and they'll have big barrels, and they'll probably have something like weird tastes, like, I don't know, cherry and other fruity flavors and stouts and all kinds of beer they'll probably have in there.
And they don't really have this in the U.S. in my experience.
I don't know. I think they should have it somewhere.
Yeah, somewhere probably, but
yeah.
beer on tap is not like you go into a liquor store and they just pump it for you on the spot. That doesn't seem to be a common thing where I grew up.
Yeah, here it's on tap, and the interesting part is they have blocked out the windows so people can't see. Now, in my neighborhood, the windows are transparent, and there is a place like that there. So I'm wondering if it's because this particular place has a demographic of people that shouldn't drink because of their religion, or because of some other reasons. I have no idea. But where I live, there's also a high number of migrants as well, just like in many places in Moscow, and mine are entirely transparent. So.
But I think it is good to note, this is technically a liquor store, right?
Yeah, it is.
And in the US, this is where I would go if I wanted to try and find some trouble.
Yes.
Or if I wanted to look bad.
Yes.
And if I was trying to make Russia look bad, I might want to find a liquor store. But even here, it looks normal to me. It does not look like a mess.
Yeah.
I mean,
so if anyone's looking for a video, like a ghetto trash video, not gonna happen here. Like, I've been here during the day. I know what it's gonna look like during the evening. The only thing is, the only time of the year that this video would look extra trashy is in the winter, because stuff usually looks bad in the winter. Green makes things prettier.
Ah, so that's our trick. That's how we fooled everyone. That
Yes,
Russia
exactly.
is a nice place.
Yeah, Russia's a bad
We did this in
place.
spring.
Exactly. Don't come here. Ah, like in our video.
Exactly. Our infamous video.
Yeah. What is this? It says plug me. Ah, that is
For samakarts.
not for, you almost made me swear. Not for samakate. This looks like a charging space for your car, or I mean that's what it is from my understanding. I don't want to stick my finger in there, but this is a charging port of some sort. A car charger in the one of the most dangerous ghettos of Russia, I guess.
Right. So in the stereotypical dangerous ghetto, which is not a dangerous ghetto, they have a car charging station. So people who live here have electric cars that they charge.
Or somebody just spent government money to say we have to put one here because I don't see any electric
Because that
cars.
looks like a Corvette or something.
Yeah, but as you can see, it is a little bit more trashy. There are bottles laying around, but let's go. We have Zhenya pointing to something. So this is it's a water dispensing unit. Voda, it's water. So you can go ahead and grab water like in the Soviet times. You see in the Soviet movies where they have cups and that's it.
Somebody left their bike helmet on the hood.
I don't see a single camera around it.
I mean,
anywhere.
Look at how nice it looks. I mean, even I am impressed. Supposedly the worst neighborhood in Moscow, and this beautiful machine is here, unmolested. So I don't like these breadcrumbs here. It looks messy, but Russians do this to feed birds. You're definitely wearing the right clothes.
Why?
You're dressed for a neighborhood that might be sketchy.
Do you know how comfortable these are?
No, I mean, you look good. It's just stereotypical.
My name is Joseph and I slammed the doors. I'm gonna make Stan crawl on all fours from the pain in his stomach and the sound of the door crushing the hinges and having them fall to the floor.
You could compete against Eminem. We have come to a parking lot, underground parking structure, sorry, which is also a lot. And how does it look? Does it look scary? Does it look messed up?
Learn how to not slam doors. I know you're a big, strong, big man, but...
I'm so sorry. So I see an onion dome and coming out from the trees there. It looks very nice. Does not look scary. Brick sidewalk, landscape stones, green grass. Say something smart, Stan.
Something smart, Stan. So basically, you're seeing these annoying things. They are rentable scooters. They're all over the place. In the entrance to the mall, right here as well. They all have their own individual number plates. Now, this is a recent thing. I think it's a couple of years old that they started putting plates. Anyways, they're here. And unlike when I was in Amsterdam and I've seen many of bicycles in the Amsterdam River, whatever it's called, here they're just chilling over there waiting for someone to become a road hazard for a couple of minutes. Not stolen.
Right, I was going to say, they're not stolen.
No.
Cool. Come to a little pond here, a little lake.
Lit up, looking nice. I don't see any kind of graffiti on them or graffiti, whatever you want to call it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
This would be trashed if you were in the worst neighborhood in America, or just in a neighborhood that's not that great in America. They'd be spray painted. They'd be ripped.
And look, there's kids running around. I mean, those are not full-grown adults. We're both.
And it's almost 9 o'clock.
Yeah, no, it is 9 o'clock actually on the dot.
There's a friendly English speaker.
Фишка наша в том, что у нас лодки с грилем.
Серьезно?
Да.
И с кальяном, что ли? There's a grill in their boats. You
Oh,
can rent the
wow.
boat with a grill or with a shisha, or with a hookah and stuff.
Yeah, I was on a sauna boat recently.
It's amazing how, at least in this country, there's so much freedom to do things. In this case, like, would you be able to rent a boat with a grill and a shisha and tobacco in it, on a pond, by a park, like, would you even be able to do that or no?
No, I think the average Russian does things that regularly that I would say, let's say, upper middle class person in the US gets to do 3 times a year.
Короче, он вам комплименты накидал.
Thank you very much.
Oh, you're welcome, sir. So it's not sounding like a ghetto stand.
Basically, okay, so here's the problem. The problem is there are criminals amongst the migrants. They do very bad things for sure, but it is not even close to what happens in American or European ghettos. Not even close at all whatsoever. The instances when it does happen, they're horrific, they're terrible, and anyone who does anything that harms another person should be severely punished, much more severely than is the law now. I have my own personal opinions, but they should be severely punished. But the point of this video is to show that this apparent Russian ghetto is not like an American ghetto, even though it may not be exactly like other more upper class neighborhoods, because there are a lot of migrant families living here. There's about 6 million migrants living in Russia, which is roughly about 4% of the population. So migrant crimes are 2% out of all crimes in Russia.
So I'm going to go ahead and say it. If this is the worst Moscow has to offer, then Moscow, dare I say, does not have ghettos.
Listen, I don't know. The way the internet works is that you'll come to a certain place because they'll tell you, go to a certain place. You come here, then they'll say, you didn't come at the right time. When you come at the right time, they'll say, well, you didn't come late enough. 9 o'clock is not late enough.
Saturday night,
Yeah.
past 9 o'clock, in a dark park.
And then afterwards, you'll come, I don't know, you'll come at 11. They'll say, still, you're not coming at the right time. And then after you've covered all the time zones possible, they'll say, well, you're actually coming at the wrong place. You're in the wrong city.
Chicks walking by.
Ладно, спасибо огромное. Интересно было просто
Приходите в
поговорить.
гости.
Блин, ради такого, да, кстати.
Вы очень молодцы, вы смелые мужики, что пришли в котельники. Тут очень весело и хорошо. Приходите еще.
And at the end, he basically said, oh, wow, you guys are really brave for coming to Kotelniki. Really, he was being sarcastic, obviously. But yeah, he was like, really, really brave, you guys, wow.
Let's say, okay, we should have been here at 11 p.m. where everyone's doing drugs, let's say, and throwing beer bottles on the ground. Does that mean that the good Russian citizens clean it up every day while the sun's up?
I have no idea.
Does that look like a park coffee shop in your city? Evgeny found a toilet, so they have toilets in the park, water closets. One of the first videos I did when I started the channel is Russia Scary, where I walked through, it wasn't a migrant neighborhood, it was a Russian neighborhood, like in the south of Moscow, like with Russians in it. And that was okay, but I would say that looked, if anything, was a bit scarier. That was scarier than this.
Well, I mean, take a look. You have, first of all, besides this very beautiful memorial monument, come take a look. Actually, you know what? Don't turn off the camera. You can speed this up. We'll go and I'll show you something very, very interesting.
I was incorrect. I thought these were roses. These are tulips. So, Joe.
Tulips. These are natural tulips growing here. And they've opened up from the last week, actually, so they look even more beautiful. Now, you tell me, as an American, and I'm not trying to say anything bad about any country whatsoever, but apparently I was told that this is a horrible place with lots of crime. There are tulips growing here. And they're
Beautiful.
Yeah, and they're not removed. They're right here. No one's even touching them. Now you tell me in your own words, you're an American, would that even fly in an American ghetto?
Not only, I mean, I'm from Florida, and I see more beautiful flower displays in Moscow than I ever saw in Florida.
Yeah.
But yeah, that would definitely not exist in a ghetto in America. Russians have no idea, I think, how bad it can be in America. And Americans have no idea how fantastic it can be here.
Good soliloquy, Joe. So remember how in the beginning I said that I had sold my motorcycle and that I had cash in the car, and it's something that you wouldn't do in the, you know, ghettos of the US? Well, I wasn't lying, and I'm not just saying stuff for the fun of it. Now, would you leave a wad of cash in your car, in the ghetto, in the US, Joseph, whilst walking around with a camera, looking...
Vin Diesel driving behind you.
Yeah, Vin Diesel driving behind you. Would you, Joseph?
I would not.
Well, I'm either stupid or I'm confident that this is not the type of place because I've seen those types of places. Again, I lived in Philly.
And of course, you don't normally do this, so
What?
if they find you later, they're not going to find this much money in your car.
No, I would never leave it. My car is empty all the time. But in general, the
And
car
this
has to
video
be-
is not live, so they cannot go find you right now and take the money out of your car.
No, they can't, because that would be stupid if I were to do this live. So, Joseph, this is a mall in what they told me was supposed to be a Russian ghetto, and we have an indoor karting, which looks super cool.
I mean, I am surprised.
There's a monster truck, well, what looks like a monster truck. Anyways, something from Mad Max.
A Porsche?
Yeah, I mean, you have this really, really cool. I mean, this is really
Show
cool.
them all the food court.
Yeah.
I mean, my mouth is on the floor, and I've lived here for 3 years. This is beautiful. And this is right in the middle of where we've been filming.
Where am I? I am lost.
So we're going to end the video here at this memorial. We are just a few days past Victory Day, and you have these all over Moscow, all over Russia. And now it's your turn to comment and let Stan know, what do you think? What do you think of Russia? What do you think of Moscow? Is this a scary place? Also like, subscribe, click the box to see what happens next, and click the share button to send this video to your friends.
Welcome to the Expat American.
Also, don't forget to go to this guy's channel and check out some of his videos right now.
Very nice.
You ready to eat something?
Yeah, I'm ready to eat something.
Nice.
I'm ready to go to the bathroom as well.
Let's go back to that mall.
How many seconds has it been?
Ah,
Are we good to walk away? We're good? Cut it now? Is that the
probably
end of our
now.
adventure?
Yeah, I think
I guess
so.
that's the end of our
Before
adventure.
the zombies come out.
Ah. That camera is really close.
Because you're not mic'd.
I know it's not, but I'll speak loud enough.